Hello YouTube, my name is MS Isaac and I just got done writing a book called Pitfalls, A Father's Journey Through the Florida Family Law System. This is basically an autobiography of my experiences as the father in a contested divorce situation. There's a heavy emphasis on religion, on child custody, on parental alienation, and the like. I hope this is a good read to somebody out there and that the information is useful and can be used in other situations. I just picked up a random chapter that I'm going to read to everyone right now. Thank you. The particular chapter I'm going to read from is called On Religion, and it's one of the later chapters in the book. Here goes. On religion. As is hopefully now apparent to the reader, I am not a religious person. I have certainly considered myself one in the past, especially during my late high school and early college years. In fact, prior to meeting Simone for the first time, I had just backslid, to use church lingo, and was still mockingly referred to by my family, and particularly my two older brothers, as the bishop. My belief system just evolved away from the doctrine that was being offered to me. I was no longer convinced in the premises behind the unquestioning faith of my religion. It did not help that with increasing and alarming frequency, I saw the so-called prosperity gospel being clearly disabused to enrich very questionable characters and exploit the gullible faithful to support lavish lifestyles that have no basis in the Jesus of the Bible. I no longer bought the lies and the exploitation. It was clear as day to me. Religion was a man-made construct. I no longer saw wisdom and truth in the Bible, but a self-serving doctrine peddled to achieve control of one group of people by another more privileged and vested class. I made what I consider an adult and informed decision on the matter, and have since moved away from the blind faith of my younger years and a belief in a higher power to the atheist I am today. Renee was and is especially religious. In fact, I would be amiss to call it that, as among true blue Christians, being religious and being saved are two very distinct enterprises. She is definitely of the latter flavor, and would more likely consider herself to have a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. A belief system of the highest narcissistic order is almost always perpetuated by believers. In my opinion, the premise that the maker of the entire universe, and indeed all life on earth, can have an actual relationship, be able to talk, listen, guide, bless, and curse a particular individual among 7 billion, is beyond comprehension. It is deluded. I have no problems with the faith of others, and believe strongly that people have the right and are indeed free to believe whatever they may. My only issue with Renee's faith is and was to the extent that it influenced and brainwashed our two girls. I use the word brainwash pointedly and deliberately, as that is essentially what the religious do. I don't believe in pushing false and unprovable dogmas to young minds and calling it a Christian education. I believe that while every parent has the right to raise their kids any way they like, they do not have the right to impose a belief system on a child just because they can. Why is an individual's religion always the right one anyway? I've never had a satisfactory answer to that question. Everyone else is going to hell but them. No, I don't believe in heaven or hell or any such made-up places that are unfalsifiable. My girls deserved a quality science-based education that emphasized reason above faith, which literally means believing without evidence, something that the religious have inculcated as virtuous. Having young minds dwell on the crazy and completely unbelievable stories of especially the Old Testament is a colossal waste of time and may explain why the more secular and less religious societies in the world score higher on math and science proficiency. They actually spend their time learning and studying their work and not praying to an imaginary being who might then see fit to bless them with a good grade. Competence is not wished upon. It is worked on. And yes, Noah's flood is a fantasy. Everyone knows that. To pretend otherwise is beyond ridiculous. It is demented. Granted, there are different flavors of religion. Renee's was the in-your-face kind that made it impossible for me, and indeed our girls, to proffer any alternatives. She, as the mother of all girls, knew what was best for them, and my opinion was neither needed nor of any value even on its merits. One of the reasons I admired Pastor Dean was he was clearly aware of the divergence between belief and truth. He never claimed to have the truth all figured out. He hoped that the truth would be made real to him. How he proposed to have this happen is a different matter altogether, but at least he was aware that the truth was not only the domain of the Christian faith. I do not give any more credence to an idea just because it purports to be Christian-based, just as I wouldn't necessarily do the same if it was a Muslim or Hindu idea. Humanity is full of ideas, and most of them have one unique problem. They were all made up. I don't believe in divinely inspired books and will not trust the human mind to tell the difference, even if there were indeed such books. If people can believe the preposterous ideas behind Mormonism and Scientology, to name two, and with a straight face preach the good works from their supposed divine books, I'm done. I have no patience with the certainty of religion and consider all convictions a function of proximity. None of my Christian friends are peddling Hindu truths and vice versa. Even my late father, who was loosely Christian, used to say, they could just be making this all up. That was the essence of his assessment. Granted, this is an approximate translation from a complex idiomatic language, but that was the gist of his comment. He was always conflicted with the idea that his people had to trade their beliefs for a foreign one. What would have happened if there had been no colonization? And what made these new foreign beliefs any more superior to his older ones? I have no answers to these questions, but I believe in free societies, children must be exposed to all religions as part of a secular education, and then once adults, they can decide which, if any, to follow. In my estimation, all religious education is therefore intellectual brainwashing. Just as it is tragic to see the mandated, rote memorizations of the Quran by young children in Muslim madrasas, so should the peddling of Christianity, Judaism, or any other faith to the young. The methods may be different, but the purpose is the same. Brainwash them before they can form an opinion of their own. Parents have incredible influence over their children, and I attribute the ambivalence of my father to religion in general, and the near absence of any in my mother, to my evolution on the matter. He always asked why, something many adherents to religion never do. So yes, Renee got your wish and sent our girls to Christian schools in their formative years. Unsurprisingly, their belief system now mirror hers, as was always the intended outcome. A popular author, podcaster, and speaker has explored the family dynamic regarding faith in exhaustive fashion and described the painful divergence from his family after he disavowed the belief system that he was raised in. I can empathize with his plight because I have lived the same. I love my girls dearly, but have no desire to hear them parrot Renee's ideas and beliefs and hope they remember an adage I always mentioned to them when they were still young. Be your own girl. I hope they follow their own convictions and beliefs, and not just the ideas of other, even well-meaning people. mothers included. Renee has thankfully faded to the background, while my life with Simone is just beginning. We fully intend to enjoy ourselves and make up for the many years we were separated from each other. That was the end of that particular chapter. Please like and forward to your friends. I hope it was interesting to all. Thank you so much.